Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone 4 TNO as Germany. Let us continue on where we last left off. So we've had our talks with the Americans, and they're willing to see eye to eye, or at least, you know, slightly below us. Australia has tested its first nuclear weapon. That seems like it could be bad. Who gave Australia a nuclear bomb? Australia? Okay. Well, I'm not happy about it, but there's not really too much I can do about it. So, are they now listed under the nuclear powers list? They are. They have 4 warheads. Why does... I mean, I guess because they want to counter Japanese aggression? So maybe it makes sense that they would develop their own nuclear weapons? Not a fan of it, though. Not a fan. Okay, intelligentsia once again oppose us. Well, I can just throw a little bit of political power on this, and that's no issue at all. There we go, now up to 52%. I mean, everybody likes us, which I'm happy to see, of course. And if at any time reformists take a little bit of a step out of their comfort zone, then we will just quickly we'll just quickly rectify that wrong. Very, very quickly rectify that wrong. Okay, anything we can do in here? The answer looks like it's currently no. I mean, again, I would like to do some stuff in Africa, but we can't do it quite yet. But our first technology is almost finished. Okay, so some things have bypassed here. I'm assuming that's due to England. Reapproach with Americans will not come on the streets. An agreement. So I'm assuming this is to loosen our control over England. But of course, England is currently already in the American sphere of influence, so there's really not much we can do about that. Which is fine. Does that still lower our tensions or no? Because it technically was bypassed and didn't happen. Okay, because it got bypassed, those events didn't take place. Which is okay. I mean, American is still kind of a sticky issue. Because, hey, they are a socialist nation right off our coastline. So it might be something we do want to worry about. Welsh terrorism. The English military is basically ass. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. What are we building that's outdated? Old anti-air, boom, fix that up. Basic jet, get you with the improved jet. So we have a lot of planes in reserve. And again, if there's ever a point where we need to deploy these aircraft, we can get that done pretty easily. Bulgaria, I do want to influence you. Fear and Loathings in Los Angeles. Earlier this month, noted author and founder of Gonzo Journalism, Hunter S. Thomas, released his newest book, Fear and Loathing in Los Angeles. Set in a surreal alternate universe with a few rules, the work is a multi-pronged satire and other more serious alternative history works, as well as a scathing critique of the culture of the United States in the 1970s. Pretty impressive because it's 1968. Thompson spent tons of patience going into a minutia of every divergent point, off-color vignettes of an overarching story about how the world now ended up different from our own. Irrelevant and often nonsensical, these stories detail ridiculous episodes, such as Japanese doctor in Unit 731 actually trying hallucinogenic drugs of his own concoction, leading him to paragroup an army of drugs ghouls in downtown Tokyo. While critics are somewhat split on these stories, casual readers tired of oversaturation fiction market with cheap, serious alternate history novels, and have found them a welcome, if odd, diversion from the norm. Okay. It's different. Sure, whatever you say. If you're almost ready to go, you're all still very loyal. Now, the citizens... I have enough political power. I can spend the points here. There we go. Boom. The citizens love me. Every branch of the government loves me. Really, Borman is standing up on top. Like, sure, he's got 99% war support. He could maybe be a little bit better. Are we getting, I mean, everything's looking pretty good. How is our, social development? Our poverty rate is 48.3%. Holy shit. That's pretty fucking bad. Anyways. I think maybe some of these would improve our poverty rate, but let's not worry about that so much. The German people can live with that. Okay, the Japanese concern. Dorigo would be willing to offer their friends in the United States information on military installments of the provisional government of Free India. France announced withdrawing a folder containing the very same information. The HVA gave him a very detailed list of what information he was permitted to offer the Americans and when he would be allowed to do so. After all, the Reich greatly feared being the party in its exchange left more in the dark. Hank raised an eyebrow. The United States of America would like to offer in turn recent reports on the state of Imperial Japanese Navy. He slid his own folder onto the table, carrying the American intelligence. Wordlessly, the two agents swapped the information, each giving a paper as a curious to glance forward, stowing over them. This continued for another 10 or so minutes, each of the men gathering information about the Japanese, or offering information about the Japanese, and the other giving a separate list of details about the sphere to swap with. The first few days of these negotiations had been more tense, with more bothering and discourse. But Franz and Hank had quickly realized the actual amount of information being exchanged between the countries would never be changed. As such, they never devised a faster method to do it. After a day's quota of top-secret documents had been shared, the two exchanged glances in the silent room. Franz spoke first. I think the Brazilians would take the cup again. Their team is simply too good. For the rest of the time they had been set aside for their favorite meetings, the two intelligence agents bickered about their favorite team, the bulwark against the Yellow Menace. There's so many planes. How many planes do we actually have deployed right now? 6.3k. America's got 3. Probably about like 4k. Japan's probably like 3-ish. And I guess we do have a bunch in storage. Now, again, I don't know how many planes the AI deploys. I don't know if the AI always deploys all like to the maximum of their Air Force, or if they deploy the one where it actually breaks out. Not that it really matters so much. You guys can move your way here. That seems okay. Again, not that I'm really worried about a potential invasion with Russia. Forced labor, trade union policy, healthcare system, unemployment. How bad is unemployment right now? Assorted laws. Again, I can't change laws, right? I don't believe so. Sexual minority. Yeah, I can't click any of these things. And that's fine. Don't worry about you. Don't worry about you. I still love to click this button, but let's not worry about you either. Lost production units, missing equipment. We don't make total artillery, really. Okay, well there you go. I have like 3 of you guys going. That seems more or less okay. Hey, we've completed our very first bit of research here. But I mean, that seems good. So what do you guys need? You want flak and beak camouflage. $50 million, organization, true serum, cipher machine, some bugs, recon satellites. I guess we'll go with the camouflage and maybe infiltrate our way into Russia. 66% chance of succeeding. So we're basically establishing the infrastructure. Do I care about Russian infrastructure that much to really do anything about it? I mean, not really. So maybe this actually is a mistake, but yeah, we're already researching it. 2.5% per week. So 40, so a little bit less than a year. Which would be like 300 days. So I guess it's not like super bad, but it's still like not great. Supporting Pacific claims. Walter Howell, the Reich Minister of Foreign Affairs, steps up to the microphone. He's straight up by the press. Most of the Reich have, but some have been invited from other countries. Notably, no reporters from Japan or any of its allies in the sphere have been invited. Howell had figured out that their exclusion would lead to a weaker response from the Japanese, and that would be better. The Empire of Japan, Howell began, taking a moment for the crowd to calm before continuing, has long occupied portions of the United States and the 50 states that have made up its entirety. Howell made it certain to emphasize the word 50. The Führer had asked me to make a clear position of himself and the Reich on its illegal garrison of foreign lands. The German Reich, on the matters of Hawaii and the treaty ports, recognized these lands as legally, fully, and fundamentally American. Howell continued unperturbed by the murmuring and shouting of questions that erupted soon afterwards. As such, the Führer firmly urged the Empire of Japan to withdraw its troops from the United States and begin the process of transferring these lands to the rightful American administration. As reporters surged forward to ask questions, Howell answered them as best he could, though he refused to give them more information. His mind was elsewhere. As he focused on the looks of excitement clear on the face of the American press, he could only hope that the gratitude was shared by the American public. Okay, so political power of the United States goes up. We are recognizing American claims over the Pacific. And our last one here is, can Bormann go to America? They've got a whole... Was it Khrushchev or Brezhnev that went to America? It's probably both, but... Is that... No, I think it was Khrushchev, right? He went to America and he's holding up the corn. Anyways, we have more production units here. I would like to click on you. But I have to click here and then click here. I guess we'll set you to be 100 as well. Grid power production units 184. We need 1.4 billion GDP to gain one more production unit. And we're limited to 607. But like, we're nowhere even close to 607. So I'm not too sure what their issue is. Okay, close you up. Civilian factories. Power consumption, missile silos. Political power gain goes up. Division speed increases. We need like radar stations. Air bases. Honestly, probably not. We could have built like more naval dockyards. Grid power, fuel silo. You know what? Let's build some silos actually. We'll just build those in the north. Maybe that could prove to be important in the future. So I think it makes some sense, at least right now. Okay, we've got a new operative as well. Fantastic. So 2.5%. I would like for that to increase a little bit more. Like 2.5%. It's okay. But it's still going to take a while. And then you need the satellites. Which, I mean, it's only a 5% mission increase chance, which is honestly like not that great. Asking for an invitation. A toast to the Tante, Walter was slurred. A toast to the Fuhrer, Franz Kupp, Howell's handsome young underling called out. An explosion of cheers and clean glasses broke out across the dining table. The drunken bureaucrats of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs drowned their glasses and mopped up the last scraps of food as the waiter arrived with a new bottle of champagne. Swedish vodka, now champagne. I think Hale's becoming a drunkard. Von Schruff was smiling wryly, slipping gently on his glass of sparkling wine. If he was angered by lack of involvement in the Stockholm conference, he didn't show it. As long as he's sober for our trip to Washington, Borman smirked. I'm still waiting for the response from Americans. Why are they taking so long? The fear from the Greater German Reich on American soil is but perfect propaganda for both nations. Perhaps I can accompany you? Von Schruff was staring distractedly at Hans Krupp, who had raised his feet to propose yet another toast. We've been through this, Balder. Stay put. If the Americans try anything stupid, I need someone in Germany to take the reins of power. We wait their acceptance. The Americans refuse our request. A thick cloud of smoke hung over the office. Borman grinned as he lit up another cigar and threw the lighter in Balder von Schruff, who caught it effortlessly. The chief of the party councilor was always been an amusing man to drink with, and so Borman thought. He was slippery as an eel, as effeminate as a degenerate, and more pretentious than a fucking priest, but amusing nonetheless. The burst of laughter as Borman's secretary, Gerhard Klopfer, slunk into the room. My Fuhrer. German Klopfer nodded to Borman. He turned to von Schruff. Party councilor, the Americans responded to our request. They wish to maintain a detente, but declined your offer to meeting with the president in Washington, D.C. The smile faded from Borman's face in an instant as he curled his fist, snapping his fresh cigar in half. He ground his teeth together before releasing a deep breath. So be it, he muttered through his gritted teeth. The mongrel dogs still want open relations with us. They don't want the Fuhrer on their degenerate land, so be it. He leapt to his feet and paced around the table. You know why, gentlemen? Fear. The American mongrel fears us. The president fears us for obvious reasons. What a fucking pathetic nation. Von Schruff checked his watch. It was going to be a long night. We will let the insult slide. Now, I don't think there's anything else we can do with the United States in our tree here. So next up, I mean, I think the only thing we can really do now is just deal with the Japanese. Because the Americans decided that they hate us. They saw that my poverty rate's 50%. They're like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Holy hell. How's the slavery rate doing, by the way? How many slaves we got right now? I know the number's been going down. 15.9 million? That's like 4 million fewer slaves. Now, where are the slaves going? I don't think we wanted to answer that question. But we have some decisions here. Let's send one of you to Armenia. We will send you... Do I send you to Iran or I send... You know, yes, let's just send you to Iran. Might as well have all three of these guys right next to each other. It looks nice. Again, not that we're going to be invading Turkey, Iran, or Armenia, but it's just something we want to be aware of. Okay. We've captured a Chinese operative. Everyone here still likes me. I'm glad that we have friends. I mean, manpower is still looking good. And a statue for... Okay, first things first. Which one gives me my special operations? So I guess this looks like it's maybe... This is stationing nuclear weapons in Mortani's and Reunion. Let's just do Eastern Savages first. Statue for 1,000 years. It was a fine sunny day in the capital of the world. Birds were flying high, the roads bustled with citizens around with freshly coronated Hitlerplast. Near the center, by the central statue, currently covered in a canvas, was the Führer, standing proudly, a hidden smile forming on his face. Beneath his curtain, he said, his smile stealthily disappearing, is a portrait of the greatest man the world's ever known, a hero of the Aryan race and the slayer of the Judo-Bolshevik menace that once ruled over the world, now under the German heel. He waited for the crowd's applause, a man whose legacy will last 1,000, no, 2,000 years, 3! An eternal legacy for an immortal man, a legacy that, sadly, will outlive him. That man, he purposely had to break for his voice, was taken from us by the Asiatic menace, those Japanese hordes that lie across the ocean. Their sly assassin, that monster of the Tumiskan, his bullets unfortunately struck his magnificent man and sent him into a downward spiral of health. We know now that he would still have been a savior of the Aryan race were it not for the betrayal of the Nipponese. Rest assured, during Volk, justice shall be done one day, our soldiers will one day enact justice, and Japan will pave one day. For now, let the emperor of those islands see this monument of gold and weep. Woman reached over and tried to yank off the canvas, tried. His arm failed him, and he felt a sudden jolt of pain, and no strength to rip off the curtain. A nearby bodyguard noticed and quickly helped to rip off the canvas. Nobody would notice, for the statue truly was magnificent. It was standing the height of 2 men, a pure solid gold Adolf Hitler, holding a great sword. But I think that, for at least right now, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode, so if you enjoy, thumbs up. Not enjoy, you can always thumb down. Want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.